This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Mule series of videos. This session is continuation of previous session, that is Mule batch processing. In Mule batch processing part 1 session, I have shown how we can do batch processing, how we can deal with filters, aggregators, and also I have shown how it works internally along with variable propagation. In this session, I am going to show you how we can handle errors during batch job. If you are new to this session, please watch my previous session and come here for better understanding. In this session, I am going to show you how logging works when failure occurs in the batch step and how Mule internally handles the failure records with respect to the logging, and also batch processing strategies for error handling, and how we can control batch process on errors by configuring max failed records. Let's get started. So why I am talking about logging at first? Because usually we use batch job to process huge amount of data, right? Assume we are processing 1 million of records, and in that 30,000 records are failed to process due to some issue. So the issues can be two types: whether the error will come due to inconsistent data, that means the data we are expecting is not coming as expected, and also any hardware related issue. Suppose I am doing batch processing with the database connector and I lost the database connectivity from the application. During the time also, most of the records will be failed until the connection will established. So as we know, a default error handling of Mule ESB, whenever a error occurs in the flow, it automatically prints the stack trace in the console to debug the issue. But when we are processing 1 million of records during batch job, if any error occurs, if it prints each and every error, assume the same error is coming 30,000 times. If it prints the same error 30,000 times, does it make sense? No, right? So on the other hand, if we make a logging too little, and it will be impossible to us to understand where it went wrong. By considering these, the Mule internally works such a way that it will log errors efficiently. Let's see how Mule internally works to print the errors in the log. So what it will do is it will get the exceptions full stack trace on each and every record failure. As I told you, I am processing 1 million records and 30,000 records are failing. For the 30,000 records, Mule gets the full stack trace. And Mule can able to strip the stack trace from any messages. That means Mule verifies if the stack trace was already logged. Assume the record 1 has failed because of some X reason, and the record 2 also failed because of the same X reason, and record 3, record 4, record 5, and so on until 30,000 records are failed because of the same reason. Then Mule will not print the stack trace 30,000 times. It will print the stack trace once, then it will show you the count how many times it has happened. That way, Mule avoids printing a duplicate stack trace in the console, because if the Mule is going to print all the logs with respect to each and every stack trace in the console, then that will become massive, and also that will take a massive toll on the performance of our processing. because if we are printing the error is 30,000 in the console, definitely that will decrease the performance of the processing. So to avoid that, new internally provided logic inside batch job so that it will print one stack trace if, along with the count how many times it happened. Let's see how you do that with practically. I have developed a simple batch processing flow. What it do is it will read a file from a file location, that is c.chinna.in. So I am going to keep a file inside this location so that this process will read the file whenever a new file is placed. And also here I made some configurations, like I have taken the fixed frequency, not cron job, and I'm saying that hold the files from that location for each 1000 milliseconds. I taken as milliseconds, and I made auto delete as true. That means once the file has written from the location, then I am deleting the file from that location, because we can avoid the duplicate processing of the file. At the same time, I am moving the same file to backup location. Okay. So here the use case is, assume I have a consultancy and I need employee profile to provide employees to the vendors. And I had a partnership with LinkedIn, whereas LinkedIn will dump the employee details into a CSV file and they keep into a shared location. Usually we don't deal with files in real time. We deal with FTP along with scheduler. But in our case, if I go with scheduler, it will disturb our flow execution for each frequency, each time. So for to show better way, I have taken a new or update file, just file operation to show you in better way. So LinkedIn will dump all the profiles data into a CSV file and put into my shared location. From there, I will read the file. Then I will insert all the records into my database table called EMP profile. So I have a table with EMP name, EMP phone, EMP email, EMP skills. Now I do not have any data here. So once I dump the data here, any vendor, like any other company, like Microsoft, Google, Deloitte, any company is reaching my consultancy and asking employees for specific skills. I can query my database and I can get the employee details and I can provide the same to the vendor companies. So this is the use case. I am going to get huge amount of profiles data through a CSV file. I will read the file and will load the data into the database table. Here I just created a variable to take the original file name and I am injecting into a variable called input file name. Whenever we read a file dynamically, if you see here, I have not mentioned any specific file. I wanted to read all the files available in this location whenever files has placed. So irrespective of any file, any name, all the files will be read. But I wanted to read only CSV files. So I'm going to take a memtype as application/CSV so that it will read all the CSV files from this location. I am just having the input file name from attributes. The way we read the header parameters over HTTP request, in similar way, in file operation, the file name will come dynamically from the attributes. Now I am transforming the CSV file to Java because the CSV file cannot understand by batch job directly. That should be converted to a Java object so that we can pass the Java object to the batch job that will be iterated and each record will be processed to the database. Now I took insert to EMP profile and it is record by record level. I have not taken batch aggregator. We will see that too. Now we are processing record by record to the database. And if you see here, the input fields I have taken as the same as column names of the database. If you see, I have EMP name, EMP phone, EMP email, EMP skill. So I took the outcome of this collection as same as database column name so that I can avoid another transform message inside the batch step because this already will be mapped to the database column name. I made database connection and writing query insert into onboard.emp profile and I provided the column names along with the values. Let's see happy path scenario first. Then I will show you how Mule strips the duplicate of stack trace messages in the console and how it shows the count, how many times that error has occurred. Let's see. I've already running this application and I have some sample files here. If you see, I have a comma supported CSV file, EMP profiles, Java profiles. So once the LinkedIn plays this file, my process will pick it up this file and process towards database. And here I made my EMP email field as unique field because I do not want to have the duplicate of records because I am paying for each record to LinkedIn. So that's why I do not want to allow duplicate of records. How the profiles can be monitored, whether the profile is duplicate or not based on the employee email. So I put it as unique field. If I am sending same email for 2 records, then only 1 record will be inserted and 1 more record will not be allowed. We will get unique constraint error. So for AppyPath scenario, I have not taken any duplicate email ID for the Java profile. Once we see the AppyPath scenario without errors, then I will show you with errors. So the data is not coming as expected, then it will be errored out. Let's see the AppyPath scenario first. Let me copy this file and I am reading from in location, paste here. Immediately it will be picked up by our flow, then it will process towards the database. Now we can see the total process records are 20 and successful records are 20. Let's go here. Select star from EMP profiles. I have got all the profiles. It has not errored out because I do not get any duplicate email ID. Let me show you the count. Now the count is 20. The file contains the 20 records, 21, because at first we have headers. So 21 records. 20 records get inserted. Now let me delete the data and process next file. Go to file and let me open EMP Mule profiles. In Mule profiles, assume LinkedIn was sending a duplicate email. Let me close Java one and let me open. And if you see here in email section, I have for the 5th record sample@email.com and sample@gmail.com, sample@gmail.com, sample@gmail.com. So I have this email for 4 times. The database will allow only 1 record with sample@gmail.com. For the rest of the 3 records, it won't allow because email ID should be unique. So that 3 records will be failed. Our assumption is in the console, the Mule should not show the same error 3 times. Rather than that, it should show only 1 time and it should show us how many times the same error occurred. Let's see that now. Go to file. Let me copy this file. Go to in location. Put here. Mule has picked up. Now we can see scroll up. Now we can see the error as printed only once. That is duplicate entry sample at gmail.com for EMP email unique. So it was expecting unique record, but it has got the sample at gmail.com 4 times. It has allowed 1 time, very first time, and for rest of the 3 records, it has failed. But if you see, the log has printed only once. It's supposed to print 3 times, but Mule that will not do, because assume now I am processing only 20 records. In the future, I got 1 million employee profiles. Then in that 30,000 employee profiles are having duplicate email ID. Then if the Mule is going to print this error message 30,000 times, that doesn't make sense. That means Mule internally can capable of evading duplicate duplicate stack messages of errors. Then it can able to show you how many times it happened, right? So this particular exception type has happened 3 times. This way, Mule internally handles the stack trace messages of errors while printing in the console. It won't print the duplicate of stack trace messages. Rather than that, it will print once, then it will provide us the count how many times this error happened. And also we can see the total records are processed 17 and failed records are 3. This way we Mule efficiently deal with logging of error records, error stack trace messages in the console. Now as we know, 3 records has failed to process. Then how we can handle these records efficiently? So we got 20 records, 17 records successfully processed, and 3 records get failed. We should know which records has failed, right? Then only we can go back to LinkedIn and saying that, hey, we got 3 records as same email ID. So can you send exact data? Or if it happened due to some network connectivity, as I told you. So in the middle of the process, database went down. Even though we got accurate records, which are 1 million records, among the 30,000 records are not failed. We need 30 records of data backup, right? Then only we can able to process that again. So the way of handling failed records in batch process is called as error handling in the batch process. To do that, whenever we do some batch step, immediately we should take one more batch step. We don't do the error handling with our regular connector provided by the Mule ESP that are error handling connector. On error continue, on error propagate, raise error. We need not to do with these because Mule already provided an efficient way to handle error handling using batch step itself. So take the batch step, put after the batch step, and here we have a flexibility to choose either no failure or all the records or only failure. Let me take only failure. So after this, I will be able to get what are all the records are failed. Let me put the logger here and let me show you what are the records are failed. Let me put some fancy character to show you in better way, and let me take one more logger and print me here payload. Save. Let me delete the data from database because it allows us unique email ID to reprocess the same file. Now if I see count, I do not have any data. Now I am going to take the mule profile and wanted to put here. Let me check it deployed. Okay. And let's take the file to in location. It will be read from mule application, and now we can see what are the failure records among the 20 records. The records, failed records are the employee phone and employee name. So these are the three records get failed. So this way we will be able to get the failed records, and what we will do is we will write those failed records as failed into a failed directory, so that from there again we will be able to reprocess it. To do that, assume if I write that as a CSV file in the batch step itself, let me remove these loggers. And if I write file here, we know, right, in batch step, we get record one by one. It will write three files. Like for each failed record, it will write individual CSV file. So that doesn't make sense, right? So to write all the records into one CSV file or collection of failed records into one CSV file and next collection of CSV failed records into another CSV file, we should go for batch aggregator. And here, either I can put some size. If I put some size as 100, for our case, it's not suitable, but assume I am taking aggregator size as 100, and inside this I am making the CSV file and writing to a file directory. For each 100 records, a CSV file will be generated, right? So rather than this, let me write all the failed records into one CSV file. For that, I would suggest to take, and in transform message, we are going to make CSV transformation, as we are going to get the collection, all the failed records as a collection. So we need to iterate it to write to CSV file. So let me take it as profile, index of profile, and I would like to write the file same as this, how we got it, that are name, phone, mail, skills. So name, that should be profile dot emp name, as we converted here as emp name, and phone profile dot emp phone, email profile dot emp email, skills profile dot emp skills. Save. And let me rename it to transform failed records to CSV. Let's write this to a location called failed records. Let me take a new configuration to a failed location. Let's go here. I have one more folder called failed. Copy this location and let's take the config as failed location. Okay. And I would like to provide the file name as same file name that we are getting, that I have already saved into a variable called input file name. And also I would like to append the current date time to make it as a unique file name, even though we get the same future, so it will not override this file. So I would like to take it as now as a string because we are concatenating, and format as YYY hyphen mm hyphen dd hyphen HH hyphen hyphen SS along with milliseconds, and also would like to concatenate dot CSV to make sure it will write as a CSV file. Let me get saved. Let me clean up the database. Now we see we don't have any records. It has deployed. Let me copy paste the mule profile, which has 4 duplicate email IDs. So the 3 records should be written to the failed record. Now the failed records are 3. Let's go to failed directory. A new record has populated with the current date time. And now you can see the 3 records failed. We are able to populate into another file. So from here we will pick the file again and we will try to reprocess again. Not only this way, in error handling, we have a different ways to handle the failed record. Now here we are writing to a failed location file directory. Also, we can do in another ways. So we can collect some 100 records, 100 objects as a collection, and we can publish it to a JMS queue. From there, we can subscribe it back and we can try to reprocess again. When it will be possible is if we are getting any data level issue, definitely that will error out again and again, even though we retry any number of times. But if it is due to some connectivity issue with the database, then with respect to the reprocessing from subscribing a queue, automatically will result as process of all the records successful. Also, even we can store the failed records in the database and we can pull the data, and even again we can try to make sure the records processed 100%. So this way we do error handling in Mule batch job. Apart from that, we have some Mule error processing strategies that are finish processing, continue processing. What are these? Suppose if you are getting a error and you would like to finish the processing. Yes, we can do that. Assume we are processing 1 million of records. If 10 minimum 10 error occurs, still you would like to continue the process, we can do that. But if after occurring of 10 errors, we would like to stop the batch job execution, yes, we can do that. How we can do that is, here we have in batch job, we have an option called make failed records. If I keep this as 10, assume in this batch step we got 10 errors, then automatically it will stop the execution. It won't continue to remaining million of records. This way we can finish the execution based on some certain number of errors are occurring. This should be taken care in the design level phase, whether we would like to finish the processing when the number of errors occurred, or we want to continue the processing. If you would like to continue the processing, and here use BC, that option. So we can finish the processing by providing the number of values range, that as max fail records. If I give as 10, if I give as 20, after 20 errors, the process will not continue. It will skip the execution and will go to on complete phase, and it will show the what are the error records as, what are the errors are occurred and how many records has failed. In continue processing, regardless any fail occurs, you wanted to handle in the next batch step, then we can continue the execution. Even though 30,000 error occurs, 70,000 records will be continued to execute the processing and it will reach the target system. But remaining 30,000 records, if you would like to do through error handling using one more batch step, go for continue processing. To go for that, here we need to take the -1. So these are the two things we should remember as strategies in error handling. If you would like to finish the processing after getting some certain number of errors, we can do that by setting up max fail record. And continue processing, we should keep it as -1. And next batch level, we should able to handle those errors as I told you by loading into a file as fail records or into a database table or into a JMS queue, which we can retry two more or three more times. If still happening, then a human can involve and check why it is not happening. So this way we do error handling in batch job. That's all about this session. In next session, I will show you about cache scope and object store. That's all for today. Thank you.